Hello, my name is Rudy Zimmermann, and I am the current board chair of Columbus House. And I'd like to welcome you to the 2020 annual meeting. Unfortunately, we couldn't meet in person this year, but we hope you will enjoy the inspirational videos presented to you over the next several days. This has been a year like no other, as I'm sure it has been for many of you. I'd like to sincerely thank all of our donors and volunteers, community partners, and the board of directors for their unending help during this time. Without all of you, we would not be able to continue our mission of helping those who are homeless or those who are in danger of becoming homeless. Our committed staff continues to provide essential programs to all of our clients while keeping everyone safe during these difficult times. Because of their efforts, many individuals, families with children, and veterans have a safe place to stay. Some were also helped to find a job, and many have been moved into their own apartments. So far this year, about 2,500 people have been helped in the New Haven, Wallingford, and Middletown areas. We are grateful to have such a dedicated staff and committed community to support our services. About 6 months ago, we introduced you to an old friend who will lead us into the future. Margaret Middleton was a former board member at Columbus House and also a co-founder and executive director of Connecticut Veterans Legal Services. After a short stay at Georgia State University College of Law, we were able to convince her to come back to New Haven. I am very pleased to introduce you now to Margaret Middleton, Chief Executive Officer of Columbus House.
Hello and welcome to Columbus House's annual meeting. I'm Margaret Middleton, CEO. I served on the board of Columbus House for many years, so I know how strange it is for many of you to see someone who isn't Allison Cunningham in this seat. It's a pleasure to be meeting you even in this strange format during these strange times. I want to give a special welcome to all of Columbus House's family, including our volunteers, our donors, our staff, our clients, and the many, many people who make our work possible. Thank you so much. I served on the board of Columbus House for many years, so I have a special place in my heart for the annual meeting. I'm imagining right now that we are all in a big light-filled room enjoying like our second or third cup of coffee for the morning and meeting other people who are as passionate and committed to serving everyone in our community as I am. I always left the annual meeting feeling inspired, which is part of why we have recrafted our annual meeting this year to be the Days of Inspiration. And what we're going to share with you is a series of shorter videos that'll highlight some of the most inspiring volunteers that work with Columbus House so that you can have a sense of what we've been up to this year and also so that you can have a little sense of inspiration and purpose during these winter days. The beginning of the coronavirus pandemic gave a lot of organizations, including ours, the chance to understand what we were made out of. And I'm incredibly proud and grateful to be able to say that Columbus House's staff really showed up and demonstrated the courage and the creativity and the compassion that you would expect and hope they would. Early in the pandemic, Columbus House's staff moved everyone out of the emergency shelter without a single transmission of COVID very early in April. So we were able to keep people safe and get them into more isolated and more COVID-friendly housing very quickly. What that meant was that for many months, all during the summer and even now, we've been running homeless shelter out of a hotel, which we didn't know how to do. We didn't have a protocol for how to run a homeless shelter out of a hotel. And the staff have just been incredible in putting together the protocols and the check-ins and the meal service so that we can keep our clients happy and healthy in this new environment. I'm incredibly grateful to them and inspired by that work. We had another awesome achievement related to the coronavirus this season. We housed over 300 people in permanent housing, and I've had a lot of people, when I tell them that figure, say to me, if you can house 300 people in the matter of a few months, why don't you normally do that? And what I tell them is two things. One is that we did have additional funding through the CARES Act that allowed us to do more permanent housing than normal. But the other is that Columbus House really excelled in this particular project because of its ingenuity. Instead of saying, that's not my job, Columbus House staff took themselves apart like a transformer and reconfigured themselves in a way that maximized getting people into permanent housing safely and efficiently. They are justifiably incredibly proud of that accomplishment, and I hope all of you are too, because it was really done with the support and encouragement of the entire community. I thought the early days of the pandemic posed the greatest challenge of 2020, but in fact, we're moving into what promises to be even a tougher season, because we're going into the winter season, which is usually the hardest time for providing shelter, where there's the most demand, and we're at greatly reduced capacity. Shelter bed capacity is down about 50% across our entire state, across our region, and here at the Columbus House. Shelter capacity is down at the same time that we actually need much more space to keep people safe from the virus. We don't just need to keep people warm for the winter, we also need to keep people warm and distanced from each other in order to keep everyone safe from the virus. So we're facing a tremendous challenge, and I am very confident that we are going to rise to that challenge as an organization and as a community, because I know that if you're watching this video, you're somebody who's already deeply committed to the work of Columbus House, that you're deeply committed to the work of serving the homeless in your community, and that you will join with us so that collectively we can tackle this tremendous challenge. So thank you so much for joining me for this little strange and I hope somewhat connecting annual meeting. It's been a pleasure to get to spend some time with you crowing about Columbus House's accomplishments, and I look forward to what we're going to accomplish together in the future. I also want to encourage you to check out the short videos we'll be sharing with you over the next few days. We're calling them Days of Inspiration, and you'll see short videos introducing you to some of Columbus House's most inspiring volunteers and giving you a sense of what people in your community are doing to serve the homeless. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your commitment to our shared mission, and I hope I get the chance to be with you in person soon.